Chapter 6 Aladdin's Magic Lamp. Learning objectives. 1. Always stand up for what you believe in. 2. Understanding how to follow the right path. Warm up. Aladdin lost his magic lamp. He tries to find it, but he is trapped in the maze. Help him to find his magical lamp. In one of the cities of China, there once lived a poor woman and her son. This son, Aladdin, helped her with the work of making clothes. One day, as he was taking some finished clothes to someone in the next street, a man stopped him. He was well dressed and had quick, shining eyes. He looked at Aladdin closely. Man: You must be son of Ismail. Aladdin: Ismail was my father's name, but he died long ago. Did you know him? Man: Know him? He was my brother. I have come all the way from Morocco to see him, but it seems I'm too late. Aladdin did not know that his father had a brother. It was a surprise to his mother also when Aladdin took his so-called uncle home, but her mother gave him food and his so-called uncle gave her presents. Uncle: Aladdin, I know I am too late to help my poor brother, but I can help his son. Tomorrow you can show me the city. The day after, I will buy you a shop and make you a merchant. The next day, Aladdin took his uncle to the king's garden, just outside the city. Uncle: Let us walk a little further. The day is fine, and I would like to see the city from those hills. So they walked on until they came to a certain rocky place. There he made a little fire, and taking some red powder from his pocket, he dropped it in. At once there was a great noise and a hole opened in front of them. Aladdin was afraid and tried to run, but his uncle held his arm, and he could not move. Uncle: Fool! You are trying to run away just when I'm going to do you some good. Go down that hole. You will find some steps at the bottom leading to a cave. Pass through it until you come to a garden of fruit trees. Near one of those trees, a lamp that I want. Before you come back, you may take some fruit. Lastly, take this ring. It is a magic ring and will keep you safe. Aladdin went into the earth. Everything looked just as his uncle had said. He found the lamp and put it into his shirt. Then he went to take some fruit. But here was a surprise. It was not fruit, but fine jewels. He quickly filled his shirt with them and went back to steps. Uncle: Give me the lamp and I will help you up. But by now, the lamp was under all the jewels and Aladdin could not easily pull it out. Aladdin: Help me up first, then I will give it to you. But his uncle would not help him. He wanted the lamp first. He was very afraid that his uncle might take the lamp and leave him in the cave. They began to quarrel, and his uncle became very angry. There was another loud noise and everything went black. His uncle closed the opening of the cave and Aladdin could not get out. Aladdin's uncle was actually not his uncle but a magician. He had read in his books about a magic lamp that was hidden in this cave. At first, Aladdin thought his uncle would come back. But after 2 nights in the cave, he began to lose hope until he suddenly remembered the ring. His uncle had said it was magical. He looked at it. Even in the dark and shone, he rubbed to make it shine more brightly. It really was magic. Suddenly, a genie stood in front of him. Genie: I am the genie of ring. Tell me what your wishes are. Aladdin, I want to go home. There was a noise like that of a great wind, and he found himself sitting on the floor at home, telling his mother what had happened. Mother, is that lamp? Emptying Aladdin's shirt on the ground. It's old and dirty. Why did the man want it desperately? Aladdin, perhaps it is gold under all the dirt. He began to rub the dirt away with his hand, but as soon as he did so, there in front of him stood another genie bigger than the genie of the ring. Genie, I am the genie of the lamp. Tell me what your wishes are. Aladdin, I want my dinner. The genie went and came back at once with food on golden plates. Every day after that, Aladdin rubbed the lamp and the genie brought them what they needed, but did not move out of their small house. Nor did they go out in new clothes. Nobody knew they ate wonderful food in plates of gold. For some time, Aladdin was happy. But one day, he saw the king's daughter walking in the king's garden, and from that day, he knew he could not live without her. So, one morning, Aladdin's mother, feeling very scared, went to the palace with a bag. When it was time for her to speak, she knelt down and poured the jewels from the cave in front of the king. Mother, my lord, I bring these presents from my son, whose wish is to marry your daughter. The king and his vizier was surprised. They had never seen such fine jewels before. But who was this woman, and who was her son? The vizier was not pleased. He wanted his own son to marry the princess. Vizier, these are fine jewels, but we know nothing about the people. Tell her you will give her an answer in 3 months. At first, Aladdin was hopeful, but after only 1 month has passed, he heard that the princess was to be married to the son of the vizier. Aladdin thought hard, and on the night of the marriage, he told the genie just what to do. As soon as the princess lay down, she fell into a deep sleep that lasted till morning. As for the vizier's son, the genie carried him off to a cupboard. There a cold wind blew on him all night. All this happened night after until he could take it no more. If this was marriage, he didn't want it. He asked for the marriage to be ended. Aladdin's mother now returned to the king, but the vizier still did not want the princess to marry Aladdin. Vizier, first, he is not of a good family. Secondly, is he really so rich? The price of a princess is more than a bag of jewels. Tell him to bring 40 golden balls full of jewels. The next morning, Aladdin walked into the palace with 40 richly dressed servants. Each servant carried a large golden bowl filled with jewels. The king could not say no now, and Aladdin and the princess were married. Aladdin called the genie. That night, a new palace rose up beside the king's palace. There, Aladdin and his princess lived in great happiness, but this happiness did not last very long. Back home in Morocco, the magician was not at all happy. By his magic powers, he could see places far away. So one day, he turned his mind to the cave. He could not see Aladdin or the lamp. He let out an angry cry. Magician, does that mean that the boy got out? The magician set out for China a second time. As soon as he reached Aladdin's city, he put on old clothes and bought a lot of lamps that he went round the streets. Magician, new lamps for old, new lamps for old. Everybody thought he was a fool. They came to him laughing with their broken old lamps, and he gave them new ones. At last, followed by a lot of people, he stopped near Aladdin's palace. Just above was the window where the princess used to sit, watching the people pass by. She saw him. Princess to servant. There is an old lamp in Prince Aladdin's room. Take it down and see if he will really give you a new lamp for it. As soon as the magician got his hands on the magic lamp, he dropped all the other lamps on the road. He wanted the genie to come to him, even there in street. Magician, take me, this palace and everything inside it to Morocco. A cloud came down and covered the palace. When it rose again, there was nothing. Aladdin came back and found an empty space where his palace had been. Aladdin, this is that magician's work. What shall I do? Just then some soldiers came up and took him to the king. King, what have you done to my daughter? Aladdin, I'll bring her back. Only give me time to think. King, there will be quite enough time for that. Lock him up. So Aladdin was taken away and locked up. What could he do? He had lost his wife, his palace, and the lamp. He did not even know where they were. But there was one thing he had not lost. The magic ring was still on his finger. He rubbed it, and at once the genie of the ring was there with him in his narrow little room. Aladdin, Genie of the ring, bring back my palace and my princess. But the genie looked down at the ground. Genie, I do not have that power. Only the genie of the lamp can do that. Aladdin, then take me to where my palace is. The genie could do this. Strong winds blew into the little room and carried Aladdin out of the room and all the way to Morocco. Suddenly, he heard the sound of weeping. It was his princess. As soon as she saw him, her tears of sadness turned to tears of happiness. She embraced him. Princess, I knew you would come to me at last. Every night the magician comes to the palace. He asks me to forget you and marry him. Every night he grows angrier and I become more afraid. Aladdin, and my lamp? It is a magic one. Only with its help can we save ourselves. Princess, he carries it with him always. I dare not try to take it from him. Aladdin, then put something in his drink to make him sleep. I will do the rest. Aladdin hid in the next room and awaited. At last, the magician came and behaved as the princess had said. But this time, she spoke sweetly to him and gave him something to drink. Before long, he was lying on the floor, deeply asleep. It was then easy for Aladdin to come in and cut off the magician's head. He took the lamp and called the genie. Aladdin, take the whole palace back to China. So Aladdin and his princess flew back to China, where they lived happily for many years. When the king died at last, Aladdin became the king in his place. Exercises. Creative expression. Tell your story. Make your way from lamp to cave by changing just one letter on each step to make a new word. There are 5 steps in this word ladder. Cross-curricular connect. Learning by doing. Aladdin's magic lamp goes by many names but is commonly referred to as Genie's lamp. It is also called Aladdin's lamp and magic lamp. Choose your favorite character. Read the clues to recreate the story. Be creative and name it with a different title. Exercise time. Answer the following questions. 1. Who did Aladdin meet one day when he took some finished clothes to someone in the next street? Answer. Aladdin met a guy who claimed to be his father's brother. 2. What did the man promise to do? Answer. The man promised Aladdin to buy him a shop and make him a merchant. 3. Why did Aladdin not give the magic lamp to his so-called uncle? Answer. Aladdin was very afraid that his uncle might take the lamp and will leave him in the cave. 4. How did the magician take away the lamp? Answer. The magician set out for China a second time. He wore old clothes and started selling new lamps for old ones. The princess saw and stopped the magician and exchanged Aladdin's lamp with the magician's lamp. As soon as the magician got his hands on the magic lamp, he dropped all the other lamps on the road. 5. How did Aladdin get rid of the magician? Answer. Aladdin hid in the next room or waited. At last, the magician came and behaved as the princess had said. But this time, she spoke sweetly to him and gave him something to drink. Before long, he was lying on the floor, deeply asleep. It was then easy for Aladdin to come in and cut off the magician's head. Find their meaning. 1. Cave. A large hole in the side of a cliff. 2. Quarrel. An angry argument. 3. Argument. An angry discussion over a disagreement between two or more people. 4. Scared. To be afraid. 5. Magician. Someone who possesses magical powers. 6. Genie. A spirit living in a lamp or bottle with magical powers. 7. Suddenly. Unexpectedly. 8. Brightly. Radiant. Fill in the blanks with the correct words. 1. Once upon a time, there lived a poor woman and her son in China. 2. It was not fruit but fine jewels. 3. Aladdin became the king in his place after the death of the king. 4. The magician claimed to be Aladdin's uncle. Match the following. 1. Magician. 2. Genie. 3. Princess. 4. Cave. A. Lamp. B. Morocco. C. Aladdin. D. King. Answer. Magician, Morocco, Genie, Lamp, Princess, King, Cave, Aladdin. Take the right option. 1. What made Aladdin think the magician was no ordinary uncle? A. The magician said he would give him a shop. B. The magician gave him a ring. C. The magician sprinkled incense over the fire. D. Both B and C. Answer. B. The magician gave him a ring. 2. Which of the following events happened first? A. The princess invited the magician to eat with her. B. The magician looked for a foolish boy to trick. C. Aladdin married a princess. Answer. B. The magician looked for a foolish boy to trick. 3. What is the name of Aladdin's father? A. Ismail. B. Genie. C. Wazir. Answer. A. Ismail. Communication. Writing skills. What positive changes would you like to bring around if you were a genie? Write in the space below. Reading skills. Discuss with your partner if you were in Aladdin's position. What have you done to avoid all of the trouble? Talk to your partner and conclude that steps to avoid trouble. Listening and speaking skills. Your teacher will read these lines. Listen to the lines and answer who said to whom. Question 1. Help me up first, then I'll give it to you. 2. I'll bring her back. 3. I knew you would come to me at last. 4. Then take me to where my place